I wake up gasping on the kitchen floor. My heart pounds so hard I think it might explode right through my ribs. The ceiling spins above me. Everything blurs together like watercolors running in the rain. Melanie stands over me. My daughter-in-law. She's holding my heart medication bottle, and she's not moving to help. She just stares down at me with this blank expression. Cold. Like she's watching a stranger. "Guess you should have kept a better eye on your pills, Tom," she says quietly. I try to speak, but my chest tightens. My lungs feel crushed. I reach toward her, but my arm falls heavy on the tile. The bottle rattles in her hand. Half empty. But I know I filled it 3 days ago. She hid them. I know she did. On purpose. My vision starts fading at the edges. Dark spots dance across my eyes. I hear footsteps. Someone's knocking. Pounding, actually. Then the door flies open and a woman rushes inside. I don't recognize her. She drops to her knees beside me, pushing Melanie aside. "Call 911. Now," the stranger yells. Melanie doesn't move fast enough. The woman grabs her own phone and dials. Everything goes darker. I hear sirens in the distance. Someone's holding my wrist, checking my pulse. That's when I knew. Someone had been watching out for me. My name is Thomas. I'm 68 years old. I live in the same house my wife and I bought 40 years ago. She passed 2 years back. Cancer took her fast. After she died, the house felt too big. Too quiet. Every room echoed with memories I couldn't escape. My son Joel called a few weeks after the funeral. Said he and Melanie wanted to move in. Help me out. Keep me company. I didn't want to be a burden, but Joel insisted. He said it would be good for all of us. Family sticking together during hard times. I believed him. I wanted to believe him. They moved in that October. Brought all their stuff in boxes that never really got unpacked. Melanie smiled a lot those first few days. She cooked big meals. Cleaned the kitchen. Made small talk while Joel worked late shifts at the factory. But things started changing. Slowly at first. My favorite chair disappeared from the living room. Melanie said it was falling apart and donated it. My tools vanished from the garage. She claimed she was organizing. Then my mail started arriving opened. Bills I never saw. Statements that went missing. And my pills. They started disappearing too. At first, I thought I was forgetting. Getting old does that sometimes. You misplace things. Lose track of time. But I've always been sharp. My wife used to joke that I remembered everything. Date. Numbers. Conversations from years ago. So when my blood pressure medication went missing, I knew something was off. I kept them in the same cabinet for 20 years. Right next to the coffee mugs. Easy to reach. Hard to miss. I asked Melanie about it one morning. She gave me this strange look. Tilted her head like I was confused. "Tom, you took them already. Remember? Right after breakfast." I hadn't eaten breakfast yet. It was barely 7 in the morning. "No, I didn't," I said firmly. She sighed. Put her hand on my shoulder. Gentle. Almost pitying. "Dad, it's okay. You're just forgetting. It happens." I wanted to argue. But Joel walked in. He kissed Melanie on the cheek and grabbed his lunch from the counter. She smiled at him. Then she looked back at me with this expression I couldn't quite read. Something cold underneath the sweetness. I started writing things down after that. In a small notebook I kept in my bedroom. Every pill I took. Every time. Every dose. I wasn't losing my mind. She was trying to make me think I was. Melanie started playing her game louder after that. She'd ask me questions in front of Joel. Innocent-sounding questions that made me look confused. "Dad, remember when you already ate lunch?" I hadn't eaten lunch. "Dad, didn't you say you wanted to skip church today?" I never said that. I'd been going to the same church for 43 years. "Dad, you told me to cancel your doctor's appointment, right?" I never told her that either. But she'd already called and cancelled it. The receptionist confirmed it when I called back myself. Someone claiming to be me had rescheduled for next month. Then next month came and it was cancelled again. Joel started looking at me differently, like I was fragile, broken. He'd speak slower around me, use simpler words. He'd check on me constantly. You okay, Dad? Need anything? Feeling all right. I wasn't the one who needed checking on. Melanie kept pushing. She'd move my things and then act surprised when I couldn't find them. She'd turn off lights I'd just turned on. Tell me I'd left the stove on when I hadn't cooked anything all day. I felt like I was drowning. Slowly. And nobody could see it but me. They started isolating me next. Subtly at first. Melanie began answering the phone before I could get to it. She'd say I was resting or not feeling well. My friends from church stopped calling after a while. They probably thought I didn't want to talk anymore. My mail disappeared more often. I'd see the mailman deliver it, but by the time I got to the box, it was already gone. Melanie said she was helping by sorting it for me. But I never saw most of it. Bank statements, medical bills, letters from old friends. She scheduled everything now. Doctor's appointments that I never attended. Grocery runs that I wasn't invited on. Even my prescription refills. She picked them up herself. Controlled everything. Joel worked long hours. Overtime shift. Double shifts on weekends. He was barely home. When he was, Melanie kept him busy. Talking about bills. Repairs. Things that needed fixing. She always had his attention. Always had a reason to pull him away from me. I felt invisible in my own house. One afternoon I tried to leave. Just wanted to drive to church. Visit some old friends. Melanie stood in front of the door. Where are you going, Tom? Out, I said simply. You shouldn't be driving. Not with your heart. I'm fine. She didn't move. Just smiled. Let me drive you. Where do you need to go? I knew she wouldn't actually take me. So I turned around. Went back to my room. Felt trapped. That's when the nurse showed up. Her name was Kara. She knocked on the door one Tuesday afternoon while Melanie was at the store. I answered, confused. I wasn't expecting anyone. Mr. Thomas? She asked kindly. Yes. I'm Kara. I'm a home health nurse. Your friend Bill from the garage sent me. Bill. My old buddy from the mechanic shop where I used to work. We'd been friends for 30 years. I hadn't seen him in months. Melanie always said he'd called, but I was too tired for visitors. Kara stepped inside. She had kind eyes, the type that actually saw you. She asked about my medications, my daily routine, my health. I told her everything. The missing pills, the cancelled appointments, the isolation. She listened, didn't interrupt, didn't judge, just listened. Tom, she said quietly, Bill was worried. He said you stopped coming to church. Stopped answering calls. That wasn't like you. I felt something crack inside my chest. Relief, maybe. Someone noticed. Someone cared. Kara asked to see my medications. I showed her the cabinet. There were only 3 bottles. I should have had 7. She frowned, checking the labels, checking the dates. This isn't right, she said. Where are the rest? I didn't know. Melanie had control of everything. Kara told me she'd come back. She'd check on me regularly. She gave me her number. Told me to call anytime, day or night. When Melanie came home and saw her, she froze. Her face went pale. Just for a second. Then she smiled. Can I help you? Kara smiled back. Just checking on Tom. Doctor's orders. Melanie didn't ask which doctor. A few days later, I caught Melanie in her bedroom. The door was cracked open. She was standing at her dresser, unlocking a drawer. Inside were pill bottles. My pill bottles. 7 of them. The ones that had been missing. She took one out, opened it, and poured half the pills into the trash. The other half went into a plastic baggie. Then she locked the drawer again. I backed away quietly. My heart hammered. I knew it. I knew she was doing this. That night at dinner, I confronted her. Calmly. Carefully. "Melanie, where are my medications?" She blinked. Looked at Joel. "They're in the cabinet, Tom. Where they always are." "No. The other ones. The ones you're hiding." Her face twisted. Not anger. Something worse. Fake hurt. Her eyes filled with tears. She turned to Joel, voice shaking. "He's accusing me again. I don't know what to do anymore. He's getting so paranoid. So aggressive." Joel stood up fast. Looked at me like I'd just slapped her. "Dad, stop. She's trying to help you. She's lying." "She's not lying. You're confused. You're forgetting things." I stared at my son. My own son. And he didn't believe me. Melanie cried into Joel's shoulder. He held her. Comforted her. Told her it wasn't her fault. That I was just getting worse. I left the table. Went to my room. Called Kara. Kara came by the next morning. She brought someone with her. A lawyer. His name was David. He was tall, gray-haired, and serious. He shook my hand and sat down at the kitchen table. "Tom, Kara told me what's happening. We need to check your accounts. Your legal documents. Make sure everything's in order." I gave him access to my bank statements. He pulled them up on his laptop. Frowned. Scrolled. Frowned deeper. "Tom, there's money missing. A lot of money. Transfers you didn't authorize. Checks made out to cash. Over $40,000 in the past year." My stomach dropped. $40,000? David kept digging. Then he found something worse. A power of attorney document. Signed 6 months ago. It gave someone else control over my finances, my medical decisions, everything. The signature on the document looked like mine. But I never signed it. "This is forged," David said flatly. "I'll stake my career on it." Kara leaned forward. "Tom, we're going to fix this. But you have to let us help you." "Completely." I nodded. I didn't know what else to do. David filed paperwork that same day. Froze my accounts. Reported the forgery. Started building a case. Melanie didn't know yet. But she would soon. Kara installed a small camera in the kitchen. Tiny thing. Looked like a smoke detector. Melanie never noticed. It recorded everything. 3 days later, it caught something incredible. Melanie stood at the counter, my pill bottle in her hand. She opened it, poured half the pills into the trash, the other half into her pocket. Then she laughed. Actually laughed. She pulled out her phone and made a call. "Yeah, it's going perfectly," she said into the phone. "He's barely holding on. Another few months, maybe less. Then the house is ours. Joel doesn't suspect a thing." She paused. Listened. Laughed again. "No, the old man won't last. His heart's already weak. I'm just speeding things up." My blood went cold watching the footage. Kara showed it to David. He made copies. 3 USB drives. One for the police. One for the court. One for me. We had her. We finally had her. I didn't confront them. Not yet. I smiled. Played along. Let Melanie think I was getting weaker. More confused. More dependent. She loved it. She'd pat my hand. Speak slowly. Treat me like a child. Joel watched it all and believed her act completely. Meanwhile, Kara kept documenting everything. Every lie. Every manipulated moment. Every hidden pill. We built the case carefully. Quietly. David worked on getting my accounts back under my control. It took weeks. But slowly, piece by piece, I started retaking my life. Melanie had no idea. She thought she was winning. Thought the house would be hers soon. She'd already started redecorating in her mind. Talking to Joel about plans for after I was gone. I heard her once, late at night, talking to Joel in their bedroom. The walls were thin. When he's gone, we'll renovate. Sell this place. Move somewhere better. Joel's voice was quieter. Don't talk like that. Why not? He's old, Joel. It's going to happen. Let her think that. Let her believe she'd won. The fall would hurt more that way. My birthday came in March. Melanie insisted on cooking. She made a big meal. Invited a few neighbors. Made it look like a celebration. She served lasagna. My favorite. Except she added something I couldn't eat. Shellfish. Hidden in the sauce. I'm deathly allergic. She knew that. I took one bite. My throat started closing. My face swelled up. I couldn't breathe. Kara was there. She'd come as a guest. She pretended to panic. Screamed for someone to call 911. Stabbed me with an EpiPen she'd brought just in case. The ambulance came. They rushed me to the hospital. I survived. Barely. Joel was furious. He yelled at Melanie for the first time. How could you forget? You know he's allergic. She cried. Said it was an accident. Said she didn't know. But I saw her face. Just for a second. When no one else was looking. She wasn't sorry. She was frustrated. Frustrated that I'd survived. That was the first crack in Joel's trust. Small. But it was there. A week later, Melanie got drunk. She didn't drink often, but that night she had too much wine. Joel was home. I was in my room. But I heard everything. Kara had planted a baby monitor in the living room. The kind with audio. Picked up every word. If he just dies, we're set. What's the holdup? Joel went quiet. Don't say that. Why not? You know it's true. He's got the house. The savings. Everything. We just have to wait. That's my father. He's dying anyway, Joel. I'm just being realistic. I listened to the recording later. Kara played it for me. My hands shook holding the phone. My own son heard his wife say that. And he still didn't leave her. He was still there. Still choosing her. That hurt worse than anything. 2 weeks later, Melanie scheduled a cognitive evaluation for me. Surprise appointment. She drove me there herself. Told me it was just a routine checkup. It wasn't. It was a memory test. A mental assessment. She wanted me declared incompetent. I played dumb. Failed on purpose. Got dates wrong. Forgot names. Pretended to be confused. The doctor frowned. Took notes. Melanie smiled the whole time. She thought she'd won. Afterward, I heard her on the phone. Calling a care facility. A nursing home. Asking about availability. Cost. How soon they could take someone. I wrote down the name. Called David. He contacted them. Told them I was being evaluated under false pretenses. Told them to flag my name. Refuse any admissions unless I personally approve. Melanie didn't know that call had been made. She kept planning. Kept pushing. Let her. I still had family. People Melanie forgot about. My niece Deborah. My brother's daughter. She was 34. A paralegal. Sharp. Tough. Loved me like a second father. I called her one night while Melanie was out. Told her everything. Every detail. Every lie. Every piece of evidence we'd gathered. She didn't hesitate. I'm coming. I'll be there tomorrow. She showed up the next afternoon. 2 suitcases. Told Joel and Melanie she was staying to help out. Melanie's face went white. She tried to argue. Said there wasn't enough room. That I didn't need more people around. Deborah smiled sweetly. I'm family. I'm staying. Joel didn't argue. He looked relieved, actually. Like maybe having another person around would ease the tension. Melanie was furious. But she couldn't say anything. Couldn't kick Deborah out without looking heartless. So Deborah moved into the guest room. And suddenly, I wasn't alone anymore. David helped me rewrite my will. We did it quietly. At his office, Deborah came with me. Kara was there as a witness. I cut Joel out. Completely. Left him nothing. Everything went to Deborah. The house. The savings. Everything. With one condition written into the trust. The house could never be sold. It stays in the family. Forever. David recorded the signing. Filmed me reading the document aloud. Stating clearly that I was of sound mind. That this was my choice. My decision. It was legal. Ironclean. No one could contest it. I signed my name at the bottom. Deborah signed as executor. Kara and David signed as witnesses. When it was done, I felt lighter. Free almost. Melanie thought she was inheriting everything. Joel thought the same. They had no idea what was coming. Kara left the camera running during a fight between Melanie and Joel. It was late. They thought I was asleep. Joel confronted her. About the pills. About the money. About the things Kara and Deborah had been quietly pointing out to him. Melanie snapped. Admitted everything. Yes, I hid his pills. Yes, I moved money. So what? He's dying anyway. Why shouldn't we benefit? You tried to kill him. I tried to speed things up. We're broke, Joel. We needed this. Joel's voice cracked. He's my father. He's a burden. The camera caught all of it. Every word. Every confession. Crystal clear. Kara downloaded the footage. Made copies. 3 USB drives again. One for David. One for Deborah. One for me. We had everything now. Every piece of the puzzle. Joel started breaking. I saw it in his eyes. The guilt. The realization. He'd believed her. Defended her. Chose her over me. And now he knew the truth. I found him in the garage one night. Sitting on an old workbench. Crying. He didn't hear me come in. I didn't know it got this bad, he whispered. I stood there, watching my son fall apart. Part of me wanted to comfort him. Part of me wanted to walk away. You chose her, I said quietly. Remember that. He looked up. Tears streaked his face. Dad, You let her do this. You believed her over me. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix it, Joel. I turned and walked out. Left him sitting there. Alone. Kara filed a report with Adult Protective Services. Officially. With all the evidence. The videos. The recordings. The financial records. Everything. A social worker showed up 3 days later. Unannounced. Knocked on the door mid-morning. Melanie answered. Her smile was instant. Sweet. Fake. Can I help you? I'm here to speak with Thomas. Are you family? I'm his daughter-in-law. The social worker stepped inside. Melanie tried to control the conversation. Tried to steer things. But the social worker wasn't having it. She asked to speak with me privately. We sat in the living room. Melanie hovered nearby. Listening. The social worker asked direct questions. About my health. My medications. My living situation. I answered honestly. Calmly. When she left, she told Melanie there'd be a follow-up. An investigation. Melanie's smile vanished the second the door closed. She knew. She knew something was happening. David moved fast. He closed the joint account Melanie had access to. Transferred everything into a new trust account. Only I could access it. And Deborah as backup. He canceled the credit cards Melanie had been using. Cut off her access completely. He also filed paperwork transferring the house deed into my trust. Legally. Officially. Melanie's name was never on it. Never would be. When she found out, she exploded. She screamed at me. At Joel. At Deborah. You can't do this. This is my house too. I looked at her calmly. No. It's not. It never was. Joel, do something. Joel just stood there. silent. He'd seen the evidence by then. Deborah had shown him everything. He knew what she'd done. You could have killed my dad, he said quietly. Melanie's face twisted. You're choosing him over me? You chose yourself over everyone. She grabbed her purse, stormed out, slammed the door so hard the walls shook. She came back an hour later. But everything had changed. Deborah served Melanie with an official eviction notice. 30 days. She had to leave. Melanie laughed when she read it. Actually laughed. Joel would never let you do this. Deborah handed her another paper. Joel's signature was at the bottom. Melanie's face went white. She looked at Joel. You signed this. He nodded. Didn't look at her. You need to leave. After everything I've done for you? You tried to kill my father. I was helping. You were stealing, and lying, and hurting him. She tried to argue, tried to cry, tried to manipulate him one more time. But Joel didn't break. He just repeated it. You need to leave. Melanie grabbed her things that night, threw clothes into suitcases, screamed, cried, threatened. But she packed. She left the next morning. Didn't say goodbye. Just slammed the door one last time. Good riddance. Adult Protective Services pressed charges. Forgery. Financial exploitation. Medical neglect. Endangerment. The police arrested Melanie 2 weeks later. At her new apartment. Deborah called me when it happened. I didn't feel joy. Just relief. Kara was with me when I got the news. She squeezed my hand. It's over, Tom. Joel didn't visit Melanie in jail. Didn't answer her calls. Didn't bail her out. He finally saw her for what she was. The trial date was set. 3 months away. David prepared everything. The videos, the recordings, the bank statements, the forged power of attorney. All of it. Melanie's lawyer tried to make a deal. Claimed she was under stress. Claimed she didn't mean harm. But David refused. We were going to trial. And we were going to win. The trial lasted 4 days. I testified. So did Kara. So did Deborah. So did Joel. Joel cried on the stand. Said he didn't see it. Said he was blind. Said he was sorry. The jury watched the videos. Heard the recordings. Saw the evidence. It was overwhelming. Melanie's lawyer tried to spin it. Tried to make me look confused. Tried to claim I was paranoid. But the evidence didn't lie. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. Came back with a verdict. Guilty. On all counts. Melanie stood there, face blank. No tears. No emotion. Just nothing. The judge sentenced her to 6 years. Plus restitution. She'd have to pay back every dollar she stole. When they led her out in handcuffs, she looked at me. Just once. I didn't look away. Didn't flinch. I'd won. Joel tried to apologize after the trial. He came to the house. Sat at the kitchen table. Said he was sorry over and over. I didn't see it, Dad. I should have. I'm so sorry. I looked at my son. Felt 1,000 things. Anger. Sadness. Love. Disappointment. I don't hate you, Joel, I said quietly. But I can't trust you. I'll do better. I'll prove it. It's not just what she did. It's what you let happen. You chose her over me. Every single time. He broke down. Cried. Begged for forgiveness. I didn't give it. Not yet. Maybe someday. But not yet. He moved out a week later. Found his own place across town. We talk sometimes. Short calls. Surface level stuff. But it's not the same. Maybe it never will be. The house is quiet now. Just like after my wife passed. But this time, it feels different. Peaceful. Kara visits twice a week. Checks on me. Brings groceries sometimes. We play cards. Talk. She's become a good friend. Deborah stays in the guest room most nights. She works from home now. Says she likes the company. I'm glad she's here. I planted tomatoes in the backyard last week. My wife used to grow them every summer. I haven't done it since she passed. But it felt right. Felt like moving forward. I take my medication every day. All 7 bottles. On time. No one hides them. No one controls me. I got my life back. Kara came by yesterday with coffee and muffins. We sat on the porch, watched the sun come up. She smiled at me, then said something I didn't expect. Tom, I need to tell you something. I looked at her. What's that? I used to be Melanie's first patient. I froze. What? Years ago. Before she married Joel. She worked as a caregiver. I was assigned to check on her client. An elderly man. My neighbor, actually. She tried the same thing. Hiding pills. Stealing money. Isolating him. What happened? I caught her. Reported her. She got fired. Disappeared. I thought that was the end of it. But then you saw her here. Kara nodded. I recognized her immediately. That's why I came. That's why Bill called me. He knew my history. Knew I'd recognize the signs. I stared at her. You saved me. She smiled. Sometimes the angels we meet are survivors too. I reached over. Squeezed her hand. She squeezed back. The sun rose higher. The tomatoes in the backyard were starting to sprout. The house felt warm. Safe. I was home. Really home. And I wasn't alone anymore.